Chairman, you started to say in response to the chairman that you could only speak to what you'd seen since you arrived 7 months ago in terms of why the rulemaking is so delayed. You didn't get to answer that or didn't finish that thought, I don't think. Could you?
Ranking Member DeFazio, good morning to you, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
I have to, I think, tell you that coming into the role at the head of PHMSA and beginning to understand the whole regulatory process, including the backlogs of open mandates, I think it's fair to say that there were a number of explanations as to why the open mandates seemed to languish, even those from the 2011 PIPES Act. But what I've really tried to focus on is understanding the concern. I mean, from the first day that I came to PHMSA, there were regular dialogue about why are these mandates not moving any faster. And going back to my confirmation hearing, I said that we need to prioritize, but we can't reduce quality and we can't reduce safety. So I think we've done the prioritization part, at least from what I've been able to see from my time at PHMSA. Again, we're working to make the whole regulatory process at PHMSA much more streamlined. We've made good progress. I think there's more work to do. But I do hope, Ranking Member DeFazio, that this is something that will be sustainable for years to come. Mm-hmm. I'm also learning, that there are some reviews that take place outside of PHMSA that also play a role in the whole regulatory process, and I'm learning quickly about that.
Yeah, I think we'd be talking about OMB. They hold up a lot of things over there. Are you bound by this 2-for-1 rule? So you're going to have to repeal 2 things to, like, for instance, you mentioned that rupture detection, which is a very, very high priority of the Congress, is still in the NPRM stage.
Right.
If you're going to move forward with that, are you going to have to find 2 other rules to repeal?
Yeah. Congressman, one, I think, bit of good news is, at least my experience in dealing with the regulatory reform process is that we've been able to basically, in the case of the gas rule, we've been actually able to streamline the bill. It was actually getting too complex, and I worried that it would be too complex for operators to implement, and I do honestly think that that could have a negative impact on public safety. So no, I don't think that's been an impediment at all. With regards to the leak detection rule, I mean, I asked the same questions. I mean, it seems to me that this is a very important rule. There are some people that thought, some of the elements of that rule were included in the liquid pipeline rule. But I am comfortable with the fact that a lot of the leak detection, rupture detection elements that provide the greatest protection actually go back to the original integrity management rule that was put in place a number of years ago. So it's not as if there aren't any rupture or leak detection ingredients in the rulemaking. It's just that this is going to enhance that, that part of the rule.
Well, yeah, I mean, the idea is, I mean, we've had incidents, Enbridge and others where, quite a period of time elapsed between, the initial leak and their capability, and then also automatic shutoffs. So, I would hope that both of those things are going to move along. I mean, the integrity management obviously didn't work in those cases, or the California gas explosion. So I think we need something more than the basic integrity program to assure public safety and also protection for the environment. One other quick question. I don't want to overuse my time here. The PHMSA is also working on a rule to require railroads to develop and implement comprehensive oil spill response plans. Where are we at on that?
So that rule is moving forward as well. I need to inform you all that actually I'm recused from that rule, but I can give you my perspective. That rule is something very near and dear to my heart after spending 40 years in the railroad. I'm proud of the work that we did at the railroad that I worked on in developing a very solid, comprehensive spill plan. I think it's something that all railroads need. I do understand the nuances that came into play after we started moving unit trains of petroleum crude oil and ethanol. So I can assure you, and the team at PHMSA understands that this is a rule that we're moving through pretty quickly. It was one that was, I wouldn't say was on a back burner, but it's now on a front burner, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr.